Piety.
Should this be enough space?
Piety asked. Surrounding the clearing where Piety had gathered the wood for his furniture projects, he had built a pen. The priest gestured to the fencing, following his question. The driver led a steer through the forest and held back brambles so that the creature could pass through without thorns snaring his hide. As soon as they cleared the underbrush, Boss New scanned the area. His eyes darted over the water trough and leaned to before he nodded.
Aye, this will suit him well.
Piety opened the gate in the fencing, allowing them both to pass inside.
I'll be headed to the shrine then. Would you care to accompany me back to the heart of the village? I imagine you'll be hungry after your excursion into Athlia's marketplace. I appreciate the offer, but I want to spend time with him first. Training will start today, and that begins with establishing good routines.
Boss New ran his hand along the steer's flank, and the admiration for the beast was plain in his gaze. Piety had a good feeling about recruiting the oxen cart driver to their village, and he trusted the man to tend to the creature well. With a smile, Piety took his leave. It was a short trek from the pen to the mouth of the tunnels, and Piety exchanged brief greetings with each of his villagers as he passed them. Everything was as he expected it. The sanitized water had just been delivered to the kitchen staff for preparation of the next meal, the children were gathered for a lesson on gardening, and social spinsters chatted while spinning wool into broadcloth. A lively drum lifted spirits in the center of town. As lovely as the tempo was, he couldn't help but miss Petal's harp. Once he descended the stairs to the tunnels, the sound of the top side of the village faded from the daylight. A calm reassurance passed over him.
Sweet, sacred darkness.
He relished in the feeling as he passed familiar exposed roots along the dirt walls. He still acknowledged those wandering the channel, but his mind was a bit preoccupied. Finally, the village had an oxen cart driver, and with a few more turns of the moon, they'd have a fully grown ox. All Piety had left to do was warp a tree into a cart, and the village could transport their own wares into Athlia without needing to rely on a caravan each time. Little by little, each niche filled.
Thank you for providing for us, Dantrima. Thank you for your gifts that have brought us together and allowed us to thrive in peace.
Piety heard Dantrima's voice. It surprised him because Dantrima usually answered his prayers mentally. However, it took the priest a moment before he realized that his reverent archdemon wasn't addressing him. Rather, Dantrima argued with Mlau in the center of the shrine.
I'm not going to apologize, Dantrima said. Discretion doesn't matter to me. The Fleurin asked his questions. I wasn't going to ignore him.
Piety kept outside of the shrine's entrance, but he peered inside curiously. Mlau's deep voice threatened.
Your meddling will only inspire Vontame and the other archangels to become more emboldened. Influencing the Archspawn toward our side will already require great delicacy. Any further interruptions are not appreciated. How many times must I state my position? Our intentions are not aligned. I'm not changing my mind on this. You would betray your mentor. I don't owe this to Cassire. I don't owe my allegiance to any of you. I choose what matters to involve myself in, and for now, that is the well-being of this village. It's your fault that I'm here in any capacity, and if you hadn't dragged me back to Hagam, then I never would have stumbled into the Fleurin to start with.
Mlau's snout snarled.
You won't even consider on the sake of the principle of the matter. That's correct.
Dantrima held out a twisted horn toward Mlau.
And if you continue to pester me, then I'll follow through on my prior threat.
The crinkles along Mlau's mouth deepened. As soon as he registered the horn in Dantrima's gnarled hands, he avoided looking at it.
Fine. All those summonings must have turned you soft. But know that you stand alone. All the others have aligned with us. Do not seek any of our aid should you need it.
Mlau extended his wings, and with a pounce and a flap, he had disappeared through the shrine's wall. He knocked a couple of the animal bones that had been stuck into the wall onto the floor, but it was a minor mess to fix. Piety concluded his eavesdropping and entered the shrine a moment later. Dantrima didn't turn from the wall to face him. Piety stood beside the archdemon and snuck a closer glance at the twisted horn that Dantrima still clung to.
Where'd you find the herd of Great Eland? It's a fake.
The bark-like appearance to Dantrima's face revealed nothing about what the demon might be feeling about his encounter.
I collected a fallen antler from a snow deer and used my erosion curses to warp it to look like an eland's horn. But Mlau seemed to be fooled like you were.
I wouldn't know what the great eland truly looked like, but it's a convincing fake according to the descriptions from the legends. Dantrima eroded the mangled horn in his hands into a pile of dust. Huh. Piety considered a moment before probing the next topic. Should we be concerned about the other archdemons interfering with Basil? Dantrima scoffed in such a manner that did nothing to assuage Piety. Still, the striations of the demon's face remained plastered in place. Dantrima finally turned from the sidewall toward the altar at the front of the shrine.
Don't allow the meddling of my arch siblings to trouble you, priest. Their actions are outside both our purviews. We merely must trust the Fleurin to fend for himself.